How's it going, guys? My name is Greg, and welcome to the very first game that I'm going to be playing. Now, just like the initial launch of this game for the GameCube, I am also going to be risky, as Nintendo was, by starting with such a old game and a game that was conceived by a lot of people, good and bad, because a lot of people were looking for a Mario title to sequel Mario 64, but ended up getting a game that starred Mario's shadowed brother Luigi. Now, to get this started here, I am going to go to the third save slot because I have played this game quite a lot, and as you can see from the file select 2 and file select 1, I have gotten all the way through the game on both of those, but that's besides the point. So, without further ado, let's start Luigi's Mansion. So, during these kind of cutscenes, kind of not cutscenes, I'm gonna just try not to talk as much because I know some of these cutscenes are either somewhat important to the plot or just kind of fun to watch, so I will be quiet until this cutscene is over.
Hello? Hmm?
Okay, so it's me now. Now, like I said, I have played this game before, so I know what to do. I started on a game that I know I'd know how to play, so I wouldn't be embarrassing myself for the very first game that I play. That's going to be later on when I get into more of the games I don't remember or haven't played. Rather it be Ed, Edd n Eddy Misadventures or quite a few games that I have
Hmm?
on a list to finish after we get done with this one here. Another cutscene here. Now I will say this, like every other Mario GameCube game, it seems like they like to hold your hand a lot for this, which I kind of understand because it was more of a 3D platformer. The only other kind of 3D platformer that they had, to my acknowledgement, was the Paper Mario series and the 3D Mario 64, like I had mentioned before. Oh, I'm gonna finish that thought just after this here.
Veggie. Ho ho. Jimmy Jimmy. Keke. Geiru Veggie. Odo. Same no take. Oya. Oyama. Tei hei ui. Geiru. Su. Suku suku.
So I guess this isn't as important because you can kind of read the text that goes along with it. Anyway, as I was saying, they were kind of embarking in the 3D thing, so 64 wasn't really that held, like your hand wasn't held too much with that game because it was kind of self-explanatory what you did after the first mission or level, but when it came to the GameCube, they were introducing a lot more things than just jumping, running, and collecting stars, especially for Luigi's Mansion. It had to have a lot of hand-holding because of the introduction of not only the vacuum, but the introduction of of Luigi being the star and a few other things that made Nintendo kind of worried that people wouldn't know what to do and wouldn't like the game. Same thing with Super Mario Sunshine, but I'll get into that a little bit more when I start playing a little bit more of Super Mario Sunshine. Anyway, this here is just him basically describing what he saw, why he didn't stop Mario, or what ended up happening to make this mansion appear just out of what seemed to be thin air. Just like I said, he mentions that it just appeared out of thin air, and he saw someone that walked in, didn't stop him, and now he magically has a vacuum that stops all of that. I also haven't really noticed until a recent YouTube video that he's actually kind of a bad guy. He works for both sides, and he does what he can to get money, just like a lot of people, you know, so it tells you a lot about what he does and what he knows about to help further him financially. Also, I'm going to use standard because who uses sidestep for this game? And this is all stuff that I already know because, like I said, I've played this game, beat this game many times. And probably played this game and know everything that there is to know about this game. So, again, the reason why I started with this game in the first place. And this is a classic I have my handheld moment. My bad. I was drawing a blank for a second. It is currently 3 or so in the morning, so I will be drawing a couple of blanks during this episode because of how tired I may be and trying to make sure that everything runs smoothly when it comes to the capture and everything else going on. Make sure that everything follows correctly and that my voice is going correctly and the stream or the recording itself is going correctly. I said correctly a lot too, which yeah. Alright, let me get this 3 for here. Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna let you guys know too, this whole game's not gonna be me doing this because let me tell you, even though I've played this game multiple times, I still surprisingly suck kinda at it. Probably should have started with Mario Sunshine, but like I said, for the very first game on the GameCube, why not make my very first game that I do a Let's Play on this same very first game that launched on the GameCube. Let's not go to the gallery, because that's more just boring and him talking and saying this is where all the paintings were, blah blah blah. Okay. Now I do believe once we enter the mansion this time, there's going to be a toad on the bottom left-hand corner that cries and says, oh, I came here to save Mario, but I'm too scared. And expects the other scaredy cat, the sidekick, to also be more brave than the Toad. And I have a feeling this episode is not going to be very suspenseful because of the fact that a lot of it was training video and getting adjusted to controllers and everything else, even though I don't technically need that. Also, it's kind of funny. I know a lot of people probably haven't done it the first time going through, but if you say goodbye, a lot of them say funny things, but I mean, other times it's just like, I don't really feel like saying the funny things. I think it's later on in the game is where they like say something that's a little bit funnier than what he just said there is I'm so very blue. I wonder where we're supposed to go. Definitely not that way. Misleading coins would definitely not say that. And like as I said before, a lot of people didn't really like this game because it wasn't Mario being a star. Because a lot of people were coming from the Nintendo 64 and expected a game that followed along the Nintendo 64 Mario, or a sequel to that, was to be expected. So a lot of people were kind of tipsy-turny about this game and what it was going to bring. But I am one of those people who thought that it was one of the best games, especially for some of the puns and some of the things that people say, or ghosts say, for say. I think one of the best parts about this part in particular with all the paintings is that he starts off by basically insulting you and then asks if you're afraid of the dark, and also in the meantime saying that you're going to end up like Mario and just find yourself lost in the halls of a place that doesn't exist. Sorry about that. I thought I was a little bit closer than what it was. One of the things that I thought that did really good with this game is the fact that they had the little map there too, especially with a bigger place like that. It's not like Mario 64 where you're kind of told where you're supposed to go, or where you know kind of where you're supposed to go because of the fact that it's like star based. So once you get your first star, you know that there's little doors that have the stars or the number of stars with them. So it makes it kind of easier. For this, it's like a huge mansion. You don't really know where you're going. You can get lost. So the map was actually a really good idea for this game. And it was kind of like an advancement in a way. I'm surprised I'm having so much luck with this whole vacuum thing, because there's a lot of times where, see, like there, where I think I got it, but I don't get it, and I would just kind of like screw it up, and then have to do it all over again, which later in the game, when the green ghosts come in that drop the bananas, and the other bigger ghosts that drop from the walls and stuff, that's when I will start showing the true colors of this game, or me playing this game, and just not do some good things. you guys to be honest. I thought you didn't come too late. Another thing I'd want to point out with this game is the fact that a lot of the time, all these ghosts don't even bug you, except for like the orange ones, or the orange ones, the green ones, blue ones, and the pink ones, and the ones that, like, all the ones that are like part of certain rooms, like this guy here, those attack you, but later on in the game, if you haven't seen this game or heard anything about it, later on in the game there's going to be some boss, or quote-unquote boss ghosts that don't really attack you, but more or less get angry when you attack them, because they're told that they're mean and that they're, you know, bad spirits, and that they're just gonna hurt you and, you know, out to get you type of stuff. When in no reality, like, they're just chilling in their house, and you know, you just come along, make them mad, and make them fight you. Like, I'm pretty sure one of them was a key fell, but I don't know what it was. Oh yeah, that's right, it's in the other room. There's a lot of this game that I do remember, a lot of this game that I don't remember. That is going to do it for this first episode. Now, be sure to like and subscribe for more content, and while you're at it, make sure to turn on notifications, get alerts for future videos. Thank you so much for watching the very first Let's Play that is on this channel, and I will see you all next time.